Hey Suffield, what are experts predicting as we head into 2024? Take a listen to hear the 2024 market forecast predictions in this month's Suffield Housing Market Update. But first, let's take a look at what's been happening in Suffield. In Suffield, in November, 15 homes were sold, and that's up 114% from November of 2022. 5 new listings came on the market, and that's up 25%. The sales price to list price ratio was 101.18%, and that's up 1%. And the average sale price per square foot was $216, and that's down 3% from November of 2022. November's average sale price was $407,000, and that's up 6% from 2022. And the average days on market was 40, and that's down 73% from 2022. Now, when we take a look at the month supply and inventory, Suffield is at 1.8 months inventory, and that's up 57% from November of 2022. So how that works is 6 months is considered a balanced market. So anything more than 6 months is a buyer's market, and anything less than 6 months is a seller's market. So at 1.8 months, you can see we're extremely low inventory still, and we have a ways to go before we even hit a balanced market. So 2023 has been an interesting year in real estate. Mortgage rates have hit a new high that we haven't seen in many, many years, and affordability is at an all-time low. And that impacted the number of home sales we saw in 2023. However, simple supply and demand economics rang true. With such a shortage of supply of inventory and high buyer demand, it still kept upward pressure on pricing. So what are the experts saying as we head into 2024? First, I'm going to preface it with that I don't have a crystal ball. I can only give you what the experts are predicting. But we do have a lot of variables here, and things do change. However, let me give you what the experts are predicting that we're going to see into 2024. So I'm going to share with you the forecast that the major entities are doing both on home sales and prices heading into 2024. So let's start with prices because they're a little all over the place. Realtor.com thinks we're going to be down 1.7%. Zillow thinks we're going to be down 0.2%. But then at the other end of the spectrum, Mortgage Bankers Association thinks we're going to be up over 4%. The middle is just under 3%. And then if we look at Goldman Sachs, because we threw in one of the major banks, you get a feel of what they're thinking. That's 1.9%, and NAR at 0.7%. So if we average all of those together, the column all the way to the left, you have 1.5% appreciation. So it's hard to predict how much appreciation we're going to see next year, but if what the experts are projecting is true, we can expect to see relatively flat appreciation next year. But that's not bad news, that's good news. We have appreciated at tremendous amounts over the past several years, and you're still sitting on tremendous equity. But we need appreciation to slow so that we can fix our affordability challenges. So we need 3 things to help with affordability. We need appreciation to slow, we need wages to increase, and we need to see mortgage rates drop even more than they have already. And we're going to talk about that in a second. So as far as total home sales forecasts are concerned, Fannie Mae still has us just below 5 million, and about 5.2 million is what the average over the last 10 years outside of the different years we saw since 2020. We can see that if we average them all together, they're just about 5 million, which will be about a 20% increase over what we saw this year. So the forecasts are looking very positive. So even though they're saying we're going to be relatively flat as far as appreciation is concerned, they're saying that we are going to see the number of actual home sale prices increase. So mortgage rates have been a hot topic, and we know we've seen tremendous increases for rates over the past few years. But experts have been predicting that rates would be coming down, and we've even started to see that as we end this year. I'm going to share some data. Now keep in mind that this data is from November 30th, 2023, and rates have already changed since then because rates are a little volatile right now. But that said, if you look at November, what we can see going all the way from July, there was a slight uptick, and that uptick actually started to increase when we got into September. We saw rates hit almost 8%. Closing out this year, we've seen rates come down, and again, while I don't have a crystal ball, many experts are predicting that we're going to see rates come into the 5s even next year, and that's great news. So what does this all mean? Well, many experts are predicting we're going to have a very, very active real estate market next year. There's a lot of pent-up buyer demand. People don't love their houses, but they love their rate, and those buyers haven't been listing their houses to make a move. And that has not been helping our inventory challenges. But babies have been born, job relocations have happened, there's been marriages, there's divorce. There's a lot of reasons that sellers are ready to now make a move. So with rates predicted to normalize, those buyer sellers that haven't been making a move are getting ready to get their homes on the market and start reaching their real estate goals. Those homes will enter the market, create more inventory, more demand, and creating more home sales in 2024. So I think this is going to be an interesting year in real estate. Despite mortgage rates reaching 23-year highs, low inventory levels are spurring surprisingly strong competition. Depleted inventory stocks are gradually recovering and price appreciation is slowing, but demand has remained resilient and attractive, appropriately priced listings are moving quickly. So the real question is the inventory coming? And that, my friends, is where I really wish I had a crystal ball. The active listing count is still down compared to 2022, but as we've seen, and I've shared in previous market updates, we are starting to see a slight uptick in inventory. Take a look at this data. The black line is new listings coming out month over month this year. The dotted line is where, based on historic data, where the listings should have gone. But it appears that inventory is improving and sellers aren't waiting anymore. And sellers are starting to bring their homes to the market. Why? Well, we have years of pent-up seller demand. And as rates improve heading into 2024, it's predicted that this will continue to improve. So I mentioned that pent-up seller demand. Babies were born, people had reasons they had to move. But this graph here shows the top 5 reasons sellers sold. 74% want to move closer to friends or family. 31% are moving due to retirement. 33% had a job relocation. 12% had a change in family situation, so a marriage or divorce. And 12% was because their neighborhood became less desirable. Okay, so we talked about appreciation slowing, lowering interest rates, high buyer demand, and inventory. So what does all this mean to you, Mr. and Mrs. Home Seller? Well, 2024 is compared to be a very active real estate year compared to 2023. Though appreciation is predicted to slow, that's a good thing. Prices are not expected to drop, just that appreciation will slow down a bit. And that can open up more opportunities for our move-up buyers and our first-time home buyers out there. And with rates predicted to drop, that's great news when it comes to affordability. And don't forget, you've accumulated tremendous equity over the last several years, and that's a great way to help fuel your next move. So thinking of making a move in 2024 and wanting to see what the equity looks like in your house? Please reach out. We'd be happy to do an equity review on your home and help put a plan behind your move in 2024. Thank you for your likes, shares, and comments. And if you found this information useful, feel free to share it with a friend and hit that subscribe button below. And all our information is in the description, so feel free to follow us over on other socials. We give a lot of great real estate information, tips and tricks, and we have a lot of fun over there. All right, this is your December Suffield housing market update. Have a great holiday season, and we'll see you next year.